Hey, welcome to the channel. Hope y'all ready for this. Yo, today we're gonna be getting into some Japanese background painting today. I'm gonna be doing that. Let's get into it. So, first off, we're gonna get started with some, what is this? I'm not sure what that is. Okay, starting on some Arches watercolor paper here. And this is ready for paint. Alright, so this is the idea, this is the sketch. Persist. Okay, so this is the part where we start to actually get into the drawing. After the tape, I like to get everything all set up, get everything all mapped out, and start to look at my reference here to make sure I got everything kind of on point, making sure I'm moving in the proper direction, and just kind of outline it from there. I'm using a non-photo blue Prismacolor pencil, so shout out to Prisma. Yeah, so as I continue to get this all mapped out here, I really just take my time and just kind of feeling it out, kind of not really committed too much to lines yet, but as I do sketch and I do kind of playing with my non-photo blue marker pencil, I'm sorry, pencil, I'm able to kind of still fix any mistakes or sharpen any lines that I may need sharpened or may need fixing. That's what's cool about this pencil. It's not very dark. So walk-in just came in, so I gotta switch up the mode a little bit. We're gonna be making a tattoo, some lettering. Something like this. Yeah, be right back. So that's what it is. I'll make that real quick. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna design my sketch. We'll be right back. Okay, shoot, we right back. We right back at it. That tattoo went pretty well. He loved it. It came out nice. It didn't take too long, so we were able to hop right back into this drawing and finish it, finish the outline process. So as I'm moving back through, I'm kind of starting to draw the rocks here. Rocks in Japanese folklore, or even just their paintings, they're just very solid. They're not very they're not too I want to say they don't have too much detail. They're just kind of plain Jane like shapes. You can make them a little dynamic if you like, but I just like to fill out big shapes first, then I kind of go in from there and kind of add my other things. So here we go. After a little bit of time, I kind of sped through and showed you guys the end product, just to kind of show my drawings a little bit of speed. A little bit darker here, added some maple leaves falling in the background with the water breaking in between the rocks here. It's coming out pretty cool. So yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with where it's at now. I think I'm gonna start adding some ink to this. So ready for the ink phase. Right here I got the Sumi ink. You see me using Sumi ink. This is one of my favorite inks. Alright, so to start this out, I'm gonna do some of these rocks here. Got a couple rocks that I'm gonna just go ahead and just paint. Got some Sumi ink ready here and this brush. Go ahead and just dab this right in. This part is kind of thick, so we can just like lay the brush right on down. Get some of the effects that we desire of the brush just being super wet. I like to turn my brush on the paper. Okay, so in this segment right here, we're gonna be just transitioning to a little bit more audio from me as I paint this here. These rocks here, they're gonna be painted first, and then as I move and go from there, I'm gonna kind of move to the water. Man, I was so inspired to paint this. I recently took a trip to Japan, and on that trip, it was just so inspirational. Like just being in the around the culture, being around the landscape, or being around the nature, being around the people. Man, what a beautiful country. Man, that has been my dream trip, and it has come to fruition. It has come true, and I don't know if y'all ever had a dream trip or a bucket list trip or anything like that, but that was definitely one of mine. I would say if you had a dream trip or a bucket list trip, where would you go? I think I have another trip that I would love to go and see. That would have to be Brazil. It was amazing, man, amazing, amazing time in Japan. But Brazil, I would love to go there too. The island, the people, the water, the food, and it all sounds so great. Um, I speak a little bit of Portuguese too, um, which is really cool. So I feel like going there, I would test my skills and be very nervous at the same time. So I feel like that would be dope. But back to Japan, honestly, being there, it was life changing. I think the most expensive part probably was just the flight itself, um, and maybe like a couple of the Airbnbs we stayed in, and we stayed in onsen also. I don't know if you know what that is, but that's kind of like a traditional Japanese kind of like you stay on the mats, you sleep on the mat floors, you take your shoes off, you walk around with the little slippers. We actually had to take our shoes off at the entrance of the hotel of the onsen. It was really different, really cool though. You know, the weather was super hot. I live in Florida, so it was very similar to Florida weather, and we were walking around a lot, so it was very different from Florida itself too. I live in Tampa more specifically, so Tampa, you need to drive everywhere. If you don't have a car, you live in Tampa, you're almost like a caveman. Nothing wrong with people who take transportation, like public transit. If you gotta do that, that's also part of your thing. That's okay. But public transit in Japan was amazing. Like it was on time. I can't say a time when it was late, but I can say a time where I was almost late. So that's to be said for sure. The people are very interesting. They're very nice, but also they can be very passionate, I guess, and also very they mean what they say, you know, but they'll say it in like the most um they'll say it in like the most polite way, I guess. That's to say it best. Um I was practicing a little bit of Japanese while I was over there too. It was very intimidating, but hey, they consider it very, I guess, like cool for you to take the time out to learn the language. So I took the time out to try to learn some languages a little bit, you know. I learned a little bit of Japanese. Let me see if I can say something on the mic here. Okay, so 英語がわかりますか？英語がわかりますか? That's a little phrase I learned. That means, do you speak English? 日本語がわかりますか? 日本語がわかりますか? That means, do you speak Japanese? 少しわかります. That means I know a little, or a little I know. That could be either of English or Japanese, however you take it. But that was pretty dope, just to know and learn those little phrases. And I learned that to say bathroom in Japanese, or the toilet, you literally say toilet, and people will know exactly what you're talking about. While in Japan, we also traveled to several different, I want to say, states over there. It was really interesting. We were like on the bullet train. We took the bullet train for about 7 days, so we got the JR pass for 7 days. And being on the bullet train, it really expedited a lot of the trip. It made it really fun. Right now, I'm painting this background water waves. Well, not water waves, just clouds. Painting some background clouds here. I'm using some sumi ink, and I mix it with water so that way the black isn't as concentrated, so it gives me like a gray tone. I want to play with this to see what I can actually get. So that was a pretty interesting combination, just mixing the right amount of water just to get a nice gray tone, and that's what I'm hoping for. I hope for a nice gray tone. Yeah, that. I say, well, I'm so. That side came out really cool. I'm gonna see if I can do the same here. Oh, I just dipped it in black. Oh my gosh. I just dipped my brush in black in it. I'm gonna just get rid of this black, get it off the screen, because I just mixed it with my freaking color here, and it's just gonna affect it in a way. Hopefully it doesn't. But yeah, that was kind of scary, honestly. Very scary. But we always come back. That's the thing. We come back. Okay, so coming back to some happy mistakes. After making some happy mistakes, I had to fix this situation. Then we're back on track. But I left off on talking about the JR Pass and 7 day trip, having it for 7 days. With that being said, I was in Japan for 14 days, and we took a couple normal trains and then the JR train, which is the bullet train. But bullet train, it travels speeds up to about, I want to say, almost 200 miles per hour, or about 200 miles per hour, and you do not feel it. You don't feel it at all. It feels very smooth. You feel a little bit of the bumps, which is okay, but I think it is definitely worth it if you are traveling. It is definitely an experience to be had. Now you can choose to have like the comfort or just like the standard riding zones. I would recommend the standard. Actually, I had one opportunity of riding in the premium zone. I'm not gonna lie, it's nice. It's nice, but I mean, it's nothing too different than what you would experience in the standard. I would think the premium just offered the seats that went back a little bit further. They allowed you to lay down a little bit more. So maybe if you're taking that 8 hour trip or something, maybe get the premium. Um, if you're balling, go ahead and take that premium experience. There's nothing wrong with that if you got it. Um, in Japan, man, these people, they had literally almost every store that they have in America. I was so like just shocked to just not assume that they would have everything that we normally have. I was expecting quite different experience, but man, I want to go back. When I got back to the States, I literally almost called Japan like home. I was like, I can't wait to go back home. And I'm from America. How did I feel that way? Why did I feel that way? Um, if you ever heard rumors about how you can almost eat off the floor, I would say that's true. If I was walking around in Japan and I dropped a food that I really was looking forward to eating, I would definitely pick it up and eat it off the floor. I don't know how many of y'all actually say that y'all would do that, but I swear the ground there was interesting. It was very clean. I probably only saw like maybe like 5 pieces of trash in my whole 14 days on the floor. This is very upkept, very respected country. You know, technology, like the technology there, oh, so advanced. Just you know, public transit, perfect. Taxis always around. It's always a way to navigate. We got to go to a couple anime places out there. We got to see the Shonen Jump store. We got to see a couple bookstores. Um, we got some manga that's actually in Japanese. That's a very epic experience. I got my girlfriend some manga and a couple of things out there. Um, we went to Kyoto, Osaka. We were in Hiroshima. We were in uh, Miyamoto. Um, yeah, crazy cool, crazy cool. I went there with two other friends. Um, we all got well, two of us got tattooed while we were there too. And tattoos in Japan, hey man, it is legal. I don't know if anyone's ever heard that it was not illegal, but it's very legal. It's possible. They have in the whole Shibuya strip. There's like a bunch of tattoo shops, and it's a very happening area. You see a lot of different types of fashion, people from all over the world, different parts of the world. Um, Crazy. I can't wait to go back. Can't wait to go back. So this painting here that I'm painting has been inspired just from that trip and things that I like saw and felt and like artists that I met. I got to go to a dream tattoo shop out there called Three Tides Tokyo. That shop. They have another location in Osaka, but I went to the Tokyo location, Shibuya specifically. Um, and I got tattooed. I bought some things too. Bought some patches and some little buttons, all sorts of cool things. Really, really cool experience. I just couldn't leave without buying anything. I had to get tattooed also to say I had an official Japanese tattoo in Japan. Not many people can say that, but you know, it was just more for the experience for me because when's the next time you're gonna go back? You gotta live life. That's one thing COVID has taught us too. Just live life. Be very appreciative. Live it up. Take that risk. Take that chance. Tell that person you love them. It's all worth it. And this painting is looking cool. It's really fun, just adding these layers of darkness to them. And I have not actually started using any black yet. Everything is just dark grays, 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 grays. Adding layers, building up, building up. That's kind of how art is. You gotta build it up, take your time, patience. Um, you're almost like having some therapy as you're working your way through this. Thinking about life, thinking about all sorts of different things while you're painting. And yeah. So I'm painting this rocks around my signature right now. I sign HC, which is Humble Creations. Just something I'm pushing here, so my branding. Working on it. If anybody here has some information on branding and getting kind of more exposure out there and whatnot, definitely let me know in the comments down below. I have not said this before in the video, but go ahead and like, drop a comment, subscribe, all of that. If you would travel to a certain dream country, where would you travel to? I had also mentioned earlier that Brazil will be another place I would love to go to. I would love to go there. Rio de Janeiro. What's the other place? Sao Paulo. There's another place that starts with an M, I believe, that's out there. I can't remember it right now, but I feel like it'll come to my brain a little bit later. But I also know a little bit of Portuguese too. I mentioned that. Portuguese is dope. Spanish is dope. Gotta continue learning. Gotta keep learning different cultures, learning about people. Stay learning, man. Stay learning. This page is all about inspiring and create. So inspiring anybody watching this, if you made it this far in the video, I want to thank you. This video is definitely something that took a little bit of a minute for me. I want to push more of these. I want to get more out there. You. Hope you're enjoying it. If there's anything you want to see more of, let me know down in the comments. I will message back. This is a very open community that I want to create. Anything you want to share, please don't be shy. Let's do it. This is a Japanese inspired painting. I'm a tattoo artist in Tampa. I've been tattooing for about 5 years now. This is something I want to start doing more of. The background is called Mirkiri. Mirkiri in Japanese means background. Yeah. So using sumi with a brush and water. I don't know if anyone here has ever used sumi ink before, but it's a little bit different than just like your typical Indian ink. I think Indian ink is actually waterproof. Sumi ink itself is not waterproof, so if you do not fix it, it will lift. Meaning, if you don't seal it, or if you don't like consider yourself done by spraying some sort of fixative over it, if water hits this in like a frame, or if you just leave it around, the water is gonna like make it move, and it's gonna make this painting change. It's gonna get destroyed from water. That'd be flooding or anything. So that's one thing about sumi ink. You wanna make sure you fix it when you're done. But it's beautiful. I love using it, just because of the history of it. I recently saw a video on how sumi ink was made, and it really inspired me to just grab a bottle of it and just mess around with it and really learn about how it moves and flows. Um, Sumi ink actually, in Japan, it's made like in these, they call them smoke rooms or smoke houses. Pretty much where they have a like over 1,000 candles or like oil lit candles that just have like a string, a wick, and they light that wick, and these candles are burning oil all day. And the fire is tended to. There's like a guy that goes and he goes and checks, or a girl. They go and check on the oil and the wick, and they check in on the soot that is collected. So that's what I want to get to. So they collect the soot with these little metal little caps or little canisters that are above the flame, and it's just above it in a way that the flame can still breathe, and the flame is still able to, like, move around and flicker and all that. But there's like a smoke that comes off the edge of the flame, and as that smoke rises, that smoke is caught. It's actually a process they call catching smoke, but that smoke is caught on that lid, that little metal lid that they have above the flame, and that smoke turns into like a I want to say like a dusty ash or like a dirt um, material, and they collect that. So they go and they scrape it when it starts to get built up, because these candles are burning for hours, mind you. So there's a lot of this soot being collected, and they go in and collect it from thousands of candles that are just burning in these old rooms. So these people end up looking like coal miners. Their faces are just covered in ash and covered in, all sorts of just smoke. Can you imagine just being there, your face is sweating, and you had to wipe your brow, and the next thing you know, you got some ash on your forehead. Yeah. Yeah, these people are like coal miners. Just for that sumi ink. Sumi ink can be very expensive too. I've learned that recently. While in Japan, I bought some sumi ink. Gotta have some authentic sumi ink. You gotta do it. I had to. So I bought some authentic sumi ink while I was there, and I believe that sumi ink ran me about $20 or about $30, but it was just for an ink stick. An ink stick is so it's a dry sumi ink. Um, so it's pretty much dry sumi ink. Imagine like a little bar of soap, but a skinny, small one, like a hotel one. And but it's black and it's ink. So you pretty much you take that ink, and there is like a little tray that you can buy. Also, it doesn't come in together, but you buy it also, and then you have to pretty much grind the ink stone on that tray. The tray has a little bit of friction on it, so it's not smooth, but there's a little bit of like ridges on it that allows the ink to kind of like break and dissipate from the bar, like as you add water to the stone. So the ink stone and the sumi ink stick go together, and as you add more water, you have more ink. The more water you add, the diluted the ink becomes, and the more concentrated the water can be by just creating more rotations with the ink stick, breaking down, making the ink become into a liquid form from the solid state of the bar. So that catching smoke whole story goes into where they end up grinding this. Well, they collect all that soot and they turn it into a big ball of like just charcoal or soot or sumi ink charcoal, and they step on it, they mash it up, they add animal bone glue to it, and all of this stuff is added to the sumi ink process, which makes it into its quality um, finish. Um, and different parts of the animal or different animals itself will add to the expense of the sumi ink. You can have like deer bone antlers or something like that, or you can have some other sort of animals. I can't really quote it right now. I'll have to look up the information. But it was very interesting learning that too. It's like, wow, man, you can get pretty specific in the animals you want for whatever look you're going for. Also, sumi ink comes in different colors. I thought black was black, but they have different sumi ink blacks that dry more brown. They have sumi inks that dry more blue, and I believe they have some that just dry more on the gray side. But yeah, that was very interesting to learn that too. Man, what an interesting story of the sumi ink. It has come so far. Like, it's funny. People who usually are incarcerated, they will create tattoos. I mean, they're not supposed to do tattooing, but their process is very similar to the ink catching of sumi ink. And from Japan, like they would, while they're incarcerated, they would light a little candle with baby oil, and that'll be their candle, and they'll catch the smoke inside of like a container or paper or something like that. Very, very interesting. And that is the ink that is used for tattooing. Now in Japan, they actually tattoo with sumi ink. In America, we don't really use too much sumi ink for tattooing. We tattoo with like the ink that's provided by ink companies here. A lot of the Japanese believe that the sumi ink, because it is still like wet or like able to be wet from water after it's finished, or I guess considered to be dry, um, they believe that their tattoos are a lot darker because they use the sumi ink too. Now I can't debate, or I can't say that's not true or true, or like, go with it also, because I haven't really experimented with it. I would have to really see if that's something that's possible to tattoo people with. As we're nearing the end of this painting here, I've started to add color for beyond the black and white stage. Black and white was really cool. I was debating if I wanted to keep it all black and white, but I started to really enjoy color, little color pops, something very different. I want to keep painting more of these little paintings here, and as I learn and get faster, I'll sell them, give them away, create prints, just have it all ready. Have a really cool experience and growth. Again, this page is just all dedicated to growth and knowledge and learning. If you're an artist, please subscribe to the channel, share your work, leave a comment, let me know what I should do better, let me know what you like, what you didn't like, and yeah, I'll be here. That's the wrap up. That's my channel. And come back and I'll let you learn more about me. I'll express more about my process and the things I enjoy. I hope y'all enjoy this untaping. This is the part that's really satisfying. You get to see the clean original paper underneath. Unbothered, but it just creates a fresh border for everything that's been created. I did spray this with fixative, like a gloss. It's a semi like archival gloss. Nothing too crazy, but something nice. Something that'll keep the age, because I care for it, and you should care for your art too. Again, I'm a tattooer at Stigma Ink in Tampa. My Instagram is Charlie Boy. That's where you can find me. Y'all enjoy y'all day, your night, your morning. And yeah, we gonna be back. Oh yeah, we gonna be back.